Okay, today we're going to go over a MacDon FD75. We're going to go over and inspect your RTD drum, it's called. A lot of people just call it an auger. You've got your drive chain on the side over here. That on a FD75 is a continuous chain. You will not find a connector link in there. On the older ones there was a connector link on the 2162s and FD70s. Your idler sprocket is your tensioner for your chain, and then your back drive sprocket on that shaft is free floating. There's nothing that holds it on there, so you want to make sure you keep that chain adjusted. Otherwise I have seen that back sprocket fall off that shaft. Then of course on your auger you've got a bearing in on both sides. On an FD75 the augers will come out the front. The 2162s and FD70s we will have pull the adapter to get that augers out of there. Also check your auger fingers for bending. Also check your guides. If they're wore out really bad, your fingers can flop around in there. You can see this one up here is actually missing, so your finger is just flopping around back there. So we'll want to make sure we check those. There's inspection doors to pull off to get inside to inspect your auger. And MacDon does make, there's plastic holders for the fingers. They do make a split one now that you can add on to the shaft without having to pull the whole shaft out. Also inside of this auger, when you reverse it, your fingers go the other way to pull the crop out of the combine. And there is like a clutch on this side. And to engage that clutch there's a square tube. You'll want to make sure you inspect that square tubing yearly. The one end is held in by a finger. These crack out and break. You can replace this tube or you can weld it up. If these things fall out of there, or if you see that finger missing on that far side that holds this shaft, you'll want to make sure you get in there because this thing is going to be floating around inside your auger, and when it gets locked up with the shaft, you're going to wreck your shaft, and then you will have to pull your whole auger out to fix it. Now we've lowered the header down so we can get up in here. And we want to show about adjusting this auger height. As you can see, this one, it seems kind of high. Good rule of thumb I use, you should be able to slip your finger up to the first knuckle. This one's a little high, as you can see. I can get my whole hand underneath this one. So you want, like I said, a 1/2 inch to 5/8 from the floor to the auger. And you'll want that when the header is tipped all the way forward, is a good rule of thumb. If you have to adjust the auger, there's an adjustment on both sides. There's this clamp right here, and it takes a 3/4 inch wrench. You loosen that clamp, then there's an adjusting bolt on the top side, and you can adjust or lower depending which way you need to go. On older headers there's also some linkages that come from up to this point. If they're wore too bad, you're going to have to either replace those or get them built back up, because you won't be able to adjust your auger height anymore. They'll be wore too far. And that's kind of how you adjust your auger height up and down.